Hi everyone, back to video this week now that technology is playing its part. It's been a patchy week since the last update in regards to our presentations. Last week we were back into the 60s, but this beginning of this week was a bit quieter with only about 50 presentations coming through on Monday, but it certainly started to pick up towards the end of the week. We're continuing on with the Red Res huddles. I will still be joining in on all of these for another week at both the 4 p.m. and the 8 p.m. huddles. But then all of you in the CIC role should have been involved in the huddles at some stage by then and be able to run these with that nurse in charge. Remember that these are flow meetings and should be kept to under 10 minutes. We've already had a number of admissions to Brighton this month. In fact, the first half of this month, we've had the same admissions to Brighton as we did in all of September. So that's a great effort on everyone's behalf. Our HITH referrals haven't picked up too much, but the attendance of the HITH representative at all of these meetings have shown that their team's very engaged in the process and they're keen to take our referrals when we have them for them. We haven't had to admit many G West patients yet, but as elective ramps up, I expect that we will be doing this process more often. We have gotten all of the electronic bugs in PAS sorted out to allow this to occur and therefore to be able to claim an overnight stay from the health fund for these patients. There's a resource folder at the nurse in charge desk outlining the decision tree for G West admissions, along with who is responsible for each part of this process. Now, Georgina, our care coordinator, who's been with us for a couple of weeks now, has her own DECT phone, and she'll be listed on the Amatis staff board if you need to contact her when she's here. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to circulate a survey about all of our Red Res initiatives to get some feedback to see on what's working, what isn't, and then we can finalise the process. Now, in other news, you may have seen an email from Sue Williams earlier this week about some COVID high-risk areas in Malvern, where a confirmed case has been doing some shopping. So if any of you have been to Coles Taronga Village, Coles Malvern, Woolworths Malvern, or David Jones in Malvern Central in the last couple of weeks, please be extra vigilant for any COVID symptoms and get yourself tested and isolate. You should also ask your patients who come in with COVID or any atypical COVID symptoms if they've been to these locations and have a low threshold for testing in this group. Now, there's a survey monkey that I'm going to attach to the update that I'd like you to complete if you have time. It relates to the resuscitation plan that replaced the NFR form just over a year ago. We're getting feedback from all medical and nursing staff across the hospital in relation to this form. And given that we fill out many of these forms, a strong ED representation in the survey responses would be great. Now, finally, today is Deanne's last day in the ED. She won't be far away after today. In fact, she's just going to be up the hallway in the Malvern management offices, so we're still going to see lots of her, but we're going to miss her excellent nursing leadership and her infectious good humour. It's been an absolute pleasure working with her over the last few years, and our department wouldn't be where it is without all of her hard, dedicated work. We're very lucky to have Blessing moving into the NUM role as of next week, and I'm very much looking forward to working with her and taking our ED into next year and building on what is already a fantastic department. Now, I hope you all have a good weekend and don't get too wet with the rain that's coming tomorrow, and I'll see all of you next week.